Hello, my name is Christy Godwin, and I'm a psychic medium. I'm here today to not talk about a reading or angels like I usually do. I'm here to talk about a book. The book is called Walking the Way, and it's by Laura Picasso Roberts. Here, let me get my hand out of the way so you can see that. Beautiful blue cover. Love the cover on here that she chose. Now, I know Picasso. She is a fellow medium, and we had exchanged readings. So I knew a little bit about her history just from having brought through some of her relatives. But when you're exchanging readings with another medium, it's not my normal 2 hour bring through all these relatives. It's like I read them, they read me, and then you move on because there's only so many hours in the day. So I knew a little bit about Picasso, but this book just really hit home again that we just truly never know someone and what they've gone through. And though I knew a little bit about Picasso and I knew the person she is today was just a beautiful human being, I was surprised at everything she had gone through. So I'm going to read some excerpts from the book. I'm not going to say everything that led up to the excerpts. You'll have to get the book and read that if you're interested. I will say the book is a pretty easy read. I went through it pretty quickly, but I will say it's a raw book. So if you're looking for something that is just touchy-feely, happy, no, it's an honest book. It's an honest book about people overcoming adversity and how it can be done, and just some of the true and honest feelings that we sometimes don't admit to other people except for ourselves. And so it's nice to see someone really admit these feelings and own them and say, yes, I've gone through this and I felt this and recovered. So can you. So the first excerpt I'm going to read is right in the beginning, and it kind of sets the stage for the book. It says, I fell exactly in the middle. Two older brothers, two younger brothers, and an older stepsister. I was 14 years old when my world came crashing down. Much later in life, I realized it was the greatest gift my mother could have given me. At the time, I felt like I was broken beyond repair. I had messed up. I had revealed too much. People began to see inside the story, the truth. So this leads up to something that had been kept as kind of a family secret. And one day, Picasso just couldn't take it anymore, and she revealed that family secret. And if you come from a family that is very much about presentation and what people see on the outside, you don't reveal those secrets. Because if you do, you know there are going to be dire consequences, which is exactly what happened to Picasso. And I thought it was very honest how she said that she was broken beyond repair. So many of us have felt that way before, like we just didn't know how we're going to recover. She has another little sentence in here that talks about that. It says, the wound would seep from my soul for the rest of my life, or so it seemed. And that just tells you the depth of the hurt. And though what led up to this with Picasso might not be your same hurt, we've all experienced those kinds of hurts, the ones that aren't surface. Don't just make a heart tinge, don't just make our heart hurt a little. They touch our soul and they change who we are for the rest of our lives. So Picasso really talks about what it's like to live in a family of secrets and to be able to overcome that. And you just have to put one step in front of the other. Here is another paragraph that kind of talks about how you do that. Have you ever had the feeling that the breath you just took may be your last? When I started reaching out for a place to lay my head until I could find my own, I felt the restriction of air in my lungs. That is the abundance of fear, grief, and sorrow, all wrapped into one. It's edgy and raw. Looking back, I don't understand how I ever moved forward. Have you ever felt that way? You look back at something you've come through and you yourself don't even understand how you've moved forward. And I've really thought about in those moments, it takes every strength in our body just to take a breath and take a step forward. And those are the moments where you really kind of have those out-of-body experiences when you look around the world and you're thinking, can not everyone see what I've gone through? Do they not see how broken and torn up I am? And the world is going about its business. People waking up, going to work, and you just feel like screaming at the top of your lungs. Stop. Does everyone not see what I'm going through? Do they not see how broken I am? And that's when we just have to dig deep and figure out who we are at our core and lean on our inner strength to just take one more step forward. And you'll hear people say, how did you go through that? How did you continue? The bottom line is you don't have a choice. You have to continue. And sometimes you feel like if people say, I would never have that strength, I just don't know how you did it. Sometimes you just want to scream because you're thinking, I did not want to do it. I had no choice. So I'm going to wrap it up with one last paragraph because Picasso kind of explains how we're able to take on that pain and move forward. So many painful things happened that night. There is a point when the pain is too much. That's when God reaches down and makes it so you don't feel anything. Even though the body holds memory and knows the level of pain, somewhere it just gets shut off for a moment. It's happened a few times in my life. God just flipped the switch so I could continue breathing when I didn't want to breathe. I'm beyond grateful to God for doing this for me, yet it would take nearly 40 years to heal from the events of that one simple night. How many of us have had that happen? Where you can't get over it, you can't process it, and you think, I'll be okay, I'll be okay, I'll be okay. And 10, 20, 30, in Picasso's case, 40 years down the road, you start realizing that you haven't processed all that, and you really have to process to move forward. Some people think you can just stomp it down. It's going to keep rearing its ugly head until you process that pain and get through whatever it is. And I love where she says in here, God just flipped the switch so I could continue breathing when I didn't want to breathe. Again, this goes back to the depth of hurt that we have all felt, and it might not be the same thing that happened to Picasso, but we've all had that happen. And where God just kind of puts us almost in a little bit of a state of shock to take off the edge of the pain so we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and move forward. Again, if you want to know some of the things that happened that led up to those excerpts that I read, Picasso's book is Walking the Way. The next video that I do on it is going to be more of the end of the book, how she recovered and the beautiful life that she now has. If you have any questions or concerns, please email me at christygodwin111@gmail.com. Thank you so much and have a great day.